possible, take a side, try and figure out the gray in the middle, all right? It's like a huge puzzle, okay? What we've seen, he's been part of a caregiver, no matter how you view it. He's been here with the kid at least for a month and a half, along with her. I don't know how much of a father figure he's been. I don't know what's going on there. Does that make sense? But as far as I know, and I can tell, he says one thing, she says another. They're completely conflicting. But in all reality, he's told us that they had the kid together. He said that for a while he didn't want anything to do with the kid, but he said that it's still his kid, okay? If that's the truth, and they've been together for 2 years, they've been living together for a month and a half, honestly, I don't have a reason to doubt him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, except that they haven't been together for 2 years.
Well, but she told me that.
Well, she wasn't even here for a certain amount of months.
And
she's been gone. He's been gone.
Okay.
He doesn't hold down a job.
Okay. And here's the deal. And that's the thing is if they take this civilly, okay, and if there is a CPS case, it turned into civil as soon as they moved in together and they were together for that long. Does that make sense?
But what he doesn't realize, Dad, is that I'm married, and you can't be common law married to anyone, even when you're married. In the state of Texas, you cannot have more than one marriage.
I'm just telling you, that's what we've observed. They're living together. That's how it goes. Okay.
Do you think it would be more wise to wake up an ADA and ask him what the right thing to do is instead of guessing? Because I know you're not qualified as a legal lawyer, and I think that it would probably behoove you not to be an accessory after a fact, but rather check with somebody who was actually a lawyer and have them make that decision instead of you.
And that's what I've been saying. It is a civil issue. This has turned into a civil issue. It's not a criminal issue anymore. Does that make sense? And that's what I'm saying.
I view it as a very much a law and order issue since he's taking a baby that's not his. He has no proof that the baby's his.
Okay, but we have no proof that he's not his.
So in the absence of proof, you have to go with who you know for sure is
the parent,
which
is me.
That's her. That's the way the law works. That's the way the law works. You take away, in the absence, and the same thing will go, CPS will tell you the same thing. In the absence of what you know is real and what's not real in the conflicting stories, you have to follow the one that is the truth. And the only truth is, and the only thing we know for sure is, she's the parent.
We know for sure that she's the mother, but we don't know for sure that he's not the father.
So,
and here's the deal.
Exactly. So what you're saying is you got one solid yes, and you got a maybe over here.
Well, no, we have a yes from him. Does that make sense?
You have a maybe.
Okay.
You have a maybe.
Here's
it's
the deal.
not. You don't have any proof.
Katrina, shut up.
If he is the father, and we take that kid away from him, and he's the father, and y'all are saying that he's not, but I can't prove that he's not. He's been living with the kid.
If he wanted proof, he's had 8 months and ample opportunity to step forward, get himself declared the father. Okay. He's known this. If you want to be the father, and step up and do. He has refused.
Okay.
So if he has refused that, he's given up his rights. He can't step in any time he wants to and say, "I think I'll be a dad for a week or two."
Okay.
So I can hurt somebody else.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's what he's doing. He's only doing it to hurt her. Okay. So you are only allowed under the law in the state of Texas to declare yourself a father at certain points in time. You can't just declare it any time you want to. And you don't get to have the custody of the child that you have not declared yourself. You're not on the birth certificate. You have not petitioned the state. Okay? You're not allowed to have custody of that person until you go to court and you petition yourself and then you are declared. Okay? We know this for a fact because we've already been to court for this before. Okay? And this is what you told us. It doesn't matter with who. That's irrelevant. The fact is, I know that we've done it before, okay? And we had to go. We had to get the petition. We had to go to the court. We had to prove everything that we said, okay, before somebody else who, anybody can say, I'm the dad. Okay? I live with you for a week. I'm the dad. I get to take no. Okay? His motives are suspicious. He's suspicious. He has a long criminal history.
Okay.
But you know, you want to make a mistake, that's okay. It's your career.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, and I'm not denying anything that y'all are saying, but here's the truth. Okay, is not anybody is just living with the kid. He was living with the kid. Okay. He also told us a lot of what you said. He said he hasn't been a good father. He said all this stuff, but he is still claiming to be the father.
Yeah, but
he is still living with the kid.
When you declare that you don't want to have the kid in your life, you can't suddenly, I'm going to make, I'm going to live with you for a couple months now. No, you don't get to do that. In the state of Texas, you have to go and you have to petition the court for your rights because you didn't step up when you were supposed to. You don't just get to step up nilly-willy and say, I'm the dad, I'm going to decide to be the dad now. No, now that he gave up his rights, is what he did, he gave up his rights by not petitioning and addressing it in the court of law, which is what he has to do. Since he didn't do that, he gave up his rights. I know this for a fact.
Okay, and
I'm not going to have any problem with it, but I would like your card if you have one.
I don't have a card.
You don't.
You can have my name and my badge number. Okay, but here's the deal. Okay, we don't have any proof that says he gave up rights to that kid.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
What does matter? You're asking for something in writing, and the proof is that he is not on the birth certificate. If he's the one that is required to have proof, not us. He's the one who is required to have proof because he said for himself, he's already told you, I didn't want to be the dad. So now that he wants to be the dad, he has to go through the process, and that requires what? Proof. It requires documentation, sir. That's very, very important in the state of Texas.
But
he's already given up his rights. We don't have to prove that he's done anything or do anything for him to actually have rights. He has to go to the court.
But here's the deal.
And assert his rights, and the court has to award them to him.
It goes vice versa.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't. I know this for a fact.
Can you
let
me speak for just a second?
No, I can't. Okay? Because you're not listening.
I can leave.
You can leave, but
you're
going to anyway. You're going to anyway because you're the badge, right? You get to do what you want to.
Have I been listening to you?
No, you haven't.
I have been.
No, you haven't, sir. All you're doing is mouthing the same answers over and over again, as in that's going to make it truer. And it's not going to make it truer because in the state of Texas, when you've given up your rights, to regain them, you have to go to court. It's very simple. Wake up an ADA and ask him, and he's going to tell you the same thing.
Okay.
You don't want to wake up an ADA? You don't want to contact him? My reasoning is beyond me. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do the right thing. You apparently do not want to do the right thing. You want to assert your authority because you're the badge, and your authority rules. Doesn't matter what I say or what I do. You've already made your mind up. You've already made your mind up as far as her, and you've already made up your mind in your decision. And so, therefore, I'm not going to go back with it. I don't know a cop worth his weight in uniform that's ever going to go back on his word once he's made his decision. That's the way you're trained. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the way it's done. You've made your decision. You're going to stick with the decision, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. You're going to always assert that you were right till the day you die, even though you're wrong.
Your kid.
Yeah, well, he's already given up his rights. He already
okay, but you're saying...
There is, the proof is that he does, his name is, for him to have actually gone through and declared himself dad, he has to go through the court system to do that.
Okay.
Up until then, he has no rights.
Okay. Okay.
That's simple. That's cut and dry.
You
don't have to believe me, Officer. Was it Reynolds?
Mick Reynolds.
Mick Reynolds.
I got it written down.
Okay. You don't have to believe me. You're not going to anyway. Like I said, you have a cop's mentality. You know that you're right in your head. You believe that you're right in your head. If you die 20 years from now, you're still going to believe you're right.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Most cops would have already left. Yeah. Okay, and that's the honest truth. Yeah. All right, and I'm not making myself better. I'm just telling you. I'm listening to you. Okay, but civilly,
it's not a civil issue. Why do you guys always try to get something civil that's actually
well, you
legal?
keep going to court, and I'm just saying, court is a civil issue.
No, court is a legal issue. Laws are a legal issue.
The court that we're talking about right now is a civil issue, and when it comes to parenthood,
kidnapping is a penal code offense.
If he gives his rights away in a civil court of law, and he says, "I give all rights to,"
he never asserted his rights. Since he didn't assert his rights, he has no rights.
But as the father of a child,
doesn't matter in the state of Texas.
It does matter.
Oh yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. In the state, do you remember the guy that tried to get out of paying child support for the 4 kids because he found out his wife lied to him? And none of the 4 kids were his. You know what the court told him?
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You're still the father. You still have to pay. Okay?
All right.
That's the way it is. He is the official father on the birth certificate. Doesn't matter that they're really not his. They've been the father. He's been the father. He has not been the father. He has not acted like a father. He has not behaved like a father.
Right. And I'm not even arguing that with you.
I'm glad you don't because, you would be out of your mind to do so.
Okay. And honestly, I mean, I'm not.
Go ahead. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, like I said, you've already made your.
She requested a supervisor. I can get a supervisor for you guys, and if I'm wrong,
same thing.
Well, if I'm wrong, then he'll correct me because he gets paid more than I do.
That jerk that came over here the first time, that sheriff that was a jerk that came over here the first time, that basically
he was a police officer.
That basically told me I wasn't going to get Hayden anyways. Yeah. So that's okay because I'm calling Isaiah.
Okay. Just go with it. I mean, they don't want to give him up. You're not going to get it up. You don't get to see an ADA till Monday. Okay?
And I don't have to leave here because this is my house, correct?
That's
correct. Can I have
correct.
that in writing?
Well, no, you don't need it in writing. It's the law. Well, I mean, it's the law. I mean, he told us that you lived here. It's not really an if kind of thing. I apologize if y'all think that I'm here to jerk y'all around. Well, I'm really trying to do the best that we got to work with here. And I'm sorry if you don't view that as sincere or not.
It doesn't matter whether it's sincere. You're making a huge mistake.
Okay.
You're always supposed to err on the side of caution.
I tell you what.
And the side of caution says, I don't give them to someone who is not on the birth certificate.
Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, to get over this. Okay, and if I get ruled wrong on this, then I'll get corrected on it. Okay, I'm going to start a different.
Hey, don't talk to me about police getting corrected in this town. Policemen never get corrected in this town. We got a pervert running around on the streets, and he's not on the pervert watch list. Why? Because it was a police officer. You had an old guy getting ready to retire.
Okay.
He had sex in the parking lot of Denny's. Is he on the pervert list? No. Policemen don't get corrected around here.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, that's cut and dry.
I think this has nothing to do with this situation, so we should be done talking about this, okay? All I'll say about that is obviously not all of us are the same, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to start another supervisor, one that wasn't here. Y'all can tell him everything that's going on. If he thinks I'm in the wrong, then he will do that. Does that make sense?
No. What makes more sense would be having an ADA present and making a legal decision, not one based on cop sense. The kid.
You know what? Unless there's court papers that show.
There's no paper. There's no.
You can't have court papers with somebody
that.
Right. There's no court papers because he has no custody.
Okay.
There's no papers. They don't make papers to disprove that you don't have custody. They only make papers to prove that you have custody. Okay. So you see what you're asking for is something that doesn't exist.
Okay. Will you let me talk?
I thought I was letting you talk, Officer.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue.
Officer.
He's going to
That's
be
pretty good.
anyways to you, Dad. That's just how.
Only do that when somebody is trying to assert their authority.
Okay.
When somebody has not stepped up and declared to begin with to be the father.
Okay.
There is no test. There is no proof.
Right, and there's no proof that he's not the father. We just asked her earlier.
I'm the only legal parent.
We just asked her earlier if there was indication, anything on the birth certificate that shows that he's the father, he's not the father. She said she didn't know. Okay.
So there's no proof that he is. We know who actually is the parent, and then you've got somebody who doesn't know that they're the parent. Okay. It doesn't matter whether there's proof or not. He's an unknown quantity at this time.
And that's what
For
I was
him
trying
to assert his authority,
Katrina.
he has to go through all that. Please shut up. You're not
Shut up.
helping. He has to go through all that to prove that. And that's the only time you get that stuff done. You don't get to have it done just to disprove it because he never asserted it. Okay. You have to assert it to get that disproof.
Right.
Okay?
And so what authority do we have to go over there and get the child? That's what
because he is
we don't have that authority because we don't know if he is or isn't the child's father.
Okay, so you just said that and that's she's the only legal parent.
I'm the only legal parent.
You have an unknown entity and somebody that you know that they're the parent. Who are you going to which way you should you slant to? You go with the one that you know is the parent, not the one that you're not sure is the parent. Unsure, yes. Which one weighs more? The one that you know for sure is. Okay. It's if question is supposed to be the balance, okay?
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to weigh one with I don't really have any proof. I really haven't asserted my rights. I really don't care to somebody who is. Yes, I'm the one who fed him. I'm the one who changes his diapers. I'm the one
and we don't have the
him.
authority to go over there and get the child. Do you understand?
He doesn't have anything to even take care of that baby. He doesn't have milk. He doesn't have diapers. He doesn't have wipes. He doesn't have clothes. You're just going to leave a baby that cannot even be attended to there with people that that cannot attend to him. Mm-hmm. Nobody over there has money. except for the $100 that they stole from me. But they're not going to use it to buy wipes or diapers. They're going to use it to buy drugs. I can show you right there in Zeke's room. There's a pipe sitting right there on his dresser. I'll bring it out to you.
Okay.